Hi everybody, and welcome to the start of my booktube channel. I'm really excited to be starting this because I love the booktube community and I love reading, and I really want to get involved in the community and start being a creator in it. So this is the start of it, and this is a June wrap-ups video. I read 9 books in the month of June. I'm trying to read a Harry Potter book a month. And so I finished Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire in June. It's the 4th book in the Harry Potter series, and I mean, this is obviously a reread, and I loved it. However many times this has been read, it is one of my favorites in the series, and yeah. The next book that I finished up in June was City of Fallen Angels by Cassandra Clare. I finished this in the beginning of the month. And this is the fourth book in the Mortal Instruments series, and this is my first time reading it, and it was okay. It wasn't my favorite, but it wasn't the worst book in the series. This isn't my favorite series, but it's a really entertaining series to read, and it's really interesting, and I love how in-depth Cassandra Clare is with the world and just the whole, like, atmosphere. So yeah. The next book I read in June was one of the biggest surprises for me, and it was Mr. Penumbra's 24-Hour Bookstore by Robin Sloan. This is about I'm pretty sure he's in his 20s, and his name is Clay Johnson, and he starts working at a bookstore, and I thought this was originally going to be a love story centered around a bookstore, or like based in a bookstore. But there is a love story, but there's so much more than that. And it's a book about discovering the secrets of Mr. Penumbra's 24-Hour Bookstore. And the way technology is incorporated in this book absolutely blew me away. And I did not expect to like it as much as I did. And I'm so glad I read this book because it was amazing. And the writing was so good, and all the characters were so lovable. I read a classic, and that was Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut. Even though it's kind of a weird concept with aliens and time travel and Dresden bombings and what the hell are eyes called? Orthopedic? No. Optometry. Optometry is involved in this, and it's really a good read. I enjoyed this. I wasn't sure if I would like it, but it's hilarious. It's such a funny book, and I understand why Kurt Vonnegut really got his name because this was the first book I have by him. I also have Cat's Cradle, which I really want to read now that I've read this. There were some amazing quotable lines in this book, and I really enjoyed it, and I wasn't really expecting to just because it's not really my style. And yeah, so Kurt Vonnegut is a really good author. Who knew? A lot of people knew. This book is the book that disappointed me the most, but I still kind of enjoyed it, and that is Lola and the Boy Next Door by Stephanie Perkins. I read Anne and the French Kiss a few years ago, and I loved it. I thought it was really well done, and I loved the setting. But Lola is annoying, in my opinion, and you know what's going to happen the whole entire book, and that's really annoying to me. But it was still like a cute, girly read, and I still kind of got into it. It's just about Lola and her relationship with the boy next door, Cricket, and she was just a little too weird for me, if that makes sense. And I did like how Anna was incorporated into this book because they're companion novels. I thought it was really interesting to see her in it because I really like Anne and the French Kiss a lot more than Lola and the Boy Next Door. Another book that I didn't think I would enjoy as much as I did was My Life Next Door by Huntley Fitzpatrick. This is about a girl named Samantha and her next door neighbor Jace, and their families are complete opposites and they live next door to each other. And Samantha and Jace fall in love, and I like, my favorite part about this book is the love story didn't take half the book to develop. It happened in like the first 2 chapters, and I really, really liked that. And there was this plot twist in the middle of the book that I would have never guessed was going to happen in this contemporary book, It has a lot to do with families and how families work. And I loved it. I thought it was just going to be a contemporary love story, and it was so much more than that. And I loved all the characters. Samantha was she was such a good character, and Jace was like the perfect mix of mysterious yet sweet. I loved it. I would definitely recommend this. Way more than Little and the Boy Next Door. Oh look, my bookmark's still in it. The next book is a June release. It came out, I'm pretty sure, in the beginning of this month. I hope I'm not getting that wrong. And that is The Merciless by Danielle Vega. This book is something else. It is about a group of girls who believe another girl in their grade is possessed, and they perform an exorcism on her, and they torture her. And that is what this book is about. It was interesting. I've never read anything like it, and I enjoyed it. There was a bit of a plot twist. It was a little predictable, but I still liked it. And I think it was done very well, but don't read this book if you don't like gorier books. It is kind of graphic at some points, and it made me a little uncomfortable, but I still think it was really good. And it was a really, really unique story. Again, with a really unique concept. This book has to do with incest, and it's Forbidden by Tabitha Susama. I've never read a book like this, I can tell you that much. It is about a brother and sister who have always felt like lovers, and it is their love story. And their brother and sister. So, yeah, I've never read an incest story, but I think it was done really well. It's pretty long, which I wasn't expecting when I just heard about it, but I think it was a really good length. The whole family is really likable, like all of the kids are really likable. I think it was good. I mean, it was a little hard to read sometimes because you're like, your brother and sister, but then it's like, hold it, like, okay. You start feeling for them. The last book I have was amazing, and it lived up to every hype ever I've heard about it. And it is Noggin by John Corey Whaley. I believe John Corey Whaley is my favorite author after this book. I was on vacation when I read it, and I was sitting on the beach crying. It is about a boy who dies at age 16, and then 5 years later, he gets his head reattached on another 16-year-old's body. So all of his friends are now 21, graduated high school, and in college, and he is still 16, and he has to go to high school, and he has to deal with missing 5 years of his life, while everybody else around him has moved on, including his family, and all of his friends, and his girlfriend. He has to make new friends, and it's just him trying to deal with all of that. And it's such a weird concept, and you never think you'll be able to relate to it, but you can. And it was so good. And some of the parts with him and his girlfriend, because that's a main part of the book, is how his girlfriend is 5 years older than him now. It's so interesting, the dynamics and all his relationships and how they have to change and how they grow, and his new relationships now that everybody knows his story and that he was dead. It's so amazing, and I would definitely recommend you reading this, even though it's a really kind of weird concept. Those are all the books I read in June. I really hope you enjoy this because I know I enjoy filming it and I love watching wrap-ups. So yeah, I hope you guys all have a good day. See you next time.